And what if everything you're trying to manifest is already yours? What if the love, abundance, peace, and miracles you seek were never lost, just forgotten? The truth is simple, yet few are ready to accept it. You are not manifesting, you are remembering. There is a version of you already living out your dreams, and that version isn't in the future. It's within you right now, dormant beneath layers of fear, beliefs, and conditioning. What we reveal in this video isn't a technique, it's a call to awaken, because remembering who you are is the greatest power there is. If this message has touched something inside you, write in the comments, "I remember who I am." That phrase is more than an affirmation. It's a portal, and once you step through, nothing will be the same. To understand why you aren't manifesting, but rather remembering, we need to dive into the work of one of the greatest explorers of human consciousness, Jacobo Grinberg. Scientist, psychologist, and researcher, Grinberg dedicated his life to investigating what traditional science has always avoided: the creative power of the mind. His discoveries were so profound that many believe his mysterious, never-resolved disappearance is directly linked to what he revealed. According to Grinberg, the reality you know isn't fixed or objective. It's a projection created by what he called the neuronal field, an invisible network that connects your mind to the structure of the universe. In other words, everything you experience is merely a translation of what is programmed inside you. Moreover, he asserted that everything you desire already exists as potential in that field. You don't need to create, you just need to tune in, or rather, remember. This same truth echoes in ancient spiritual traditions, which have always said, the divine isn't out there, it's within you. So by remembering your essence, you stop being a seeker and become a conscious creator of your own reality. Before we begin, let me explain what remembering means on both a spiritual and scientific level. Remembering, in this context, isn't just a mental process, it's a spiritual and vibrational act. It isn't about recalling just any memory, but about accessing an eternal truth that has dwelled in you since before your physical birth. You aren't trying to become something new. You're simply undoing the forgetting imposed by conditioning, fear, and illusions. On a spiritual level, remembering is awakening to your divine origin. The soul doesn't learn, it recalls. The world's oldest traditions, from Vedanta to Kabbalah, from the teachings of Christ to indigenous wisdom, affirm that human beings already carry within themselves all the wisdom, all the light, and all the abundance they seek. The problem was never a lack, but the veil of illusion that covers the eyes of consciousness. Jacobo Grinberg brought this wisdom into the realm of science. He not only studied the brain, but also investigated the fields of consciousness that shape reality. According to him, there exists a neuronal field, an invisible matrix where all possibilities already exist. The mind, when tuned to certain frequencies, collapses reality, making visible what was once hidden. Manifestation, therefore, isn't creation. It's a conscious selection from a sea of possibilities that are already available. This theory finds resonance in modern quantum physics. Scientists like David Bohm and Amit Goswami have suggested that reality is a field of pure potential that organizes itself through conscious observation. Everything you desire is already out there, vibrating at some frequency. When you remember, you realign your inner field with that vibration, and the universe responds instantly. But why do we forget? From childhood, we were programmed to believe in separation. Between you and the divine, between you and prosperity, between you and love. This programming disconnects you from your original state. Forgetting is the first step in the game of life. Remembering is the beginning of awakening. And here's a key point. Your body, mind, and spirit recognize the truth when it appears. That's why, upon hearing phrases like, "you are already abundant," or "the divine is within you," something inside you vibrates, tingles, and stirs. This isn't superficial motivation, it's cellular remembrance. Your energetic structure knows who you are, even if your rational mind has forgotten. So, when we say you're remembering rather than manifesting, we're pointing to the greatest liberation. You don't need to struggle to become who you already are. You simply need to reconnect, open up, and allow that remembrance to blossom. We live in a culture that idolizes effort, sacrifice, and constant striving. From an early age, we are taught that nothing comes easily, that you must work hard to achieve something, that happiness lies down the road after a long battle. But this perspective is completely out of tune with the spiritual and vibrational reality of existence. Even more, it traps us in a cycle of scarcity, anxiety, and self-sabotage. When you believe you must chase after something to feel complete, you send a vibrational signal that your current reality is insufficient. And the universe responds exactly to your dominant vibration. In other words, the harder you chase, the more you reinforce the absence. The more you seek, the further it retreats. Effort, when born from fear and lack, is a vibrational code of deficiency. Jacobo Grinberg understood this deeply. In his studies of the neuronal field, he showed that reality isn't something external to be conquered, but a projection of your internal state. You don't attract what you want through desperation or neediness. You manifest what you're vibrationally aligned with. And when you align, everything flows. No struggle, no fight, just presence. This is the difference between living in seeker mode and remembering mode. The seeker believes something is out there. The one who remembers knows that what is yours is already within you. And by relaxing into that knowledge, you create space for the universe to bring you what already belongs to you. And it's important to say, this doesn't mean inactivity. It isn't about waiting with your arms crossed. On the contrary, when you remember who you are, your actions become inspired, light, and aligned. You act not to obtain something, but because you are vibrating in the state of one who already has. And that changes everything. The energy of doing shifts from being driven by fear to being guided by trust. Spiritual traditions have always taught this. Jesus said, "Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well." The kingdom of God is an inner state, a call for you to seek evolution and what truly matters. That essence already exists within you, and when you reconnect with it, things flow to you because you stop acting as if you are lost and begin walking as one who has found. True manifestation happens in relaxation, surrender, and certainty. It is when you release anxiety and trust in the remembrance of your power. The paradox is that when you stop chasing, everything starts coming your way. Not because you gave up, but because, at last, you remembered. You were not born with fear, nor by believing you needed to earn love, fight for money, or seek approval to exist. All of that was taught to you. Implicitly or explicitly, society, school, the media, and even your family installed a mental operating system that erased who you truly are and replaced your essence with a limited identity filled with doubts and conditioning. From a young age, you heard phrases like, "This is hard," "It's not for you," "Money doesn't grow on trees," "Life isn't fair." These declarations, repeated and emotionally reinforced, became internal truths. Gradually, your belief system was molded. And the worst part, you didn't even notice. Today, most of your decisions, reactions, and perceptions are guided by automatic programs that aren't truly yours. Jacobo Grinberg said that the neuronal field, the network connecting your mind to reality, is like a projector. It doesn't show the world as it is, but as you are programmed to perceive it. In other words, if your programming is of scarcity, you will experience a reality of lack. If it's one of limitation, you'll see closed doors where there are opportunities. This explains why two people can experience the same situation, yet interpret it completely differently. Each is living their own internal projection. That programming, however, isn't definitive, but it is resistant. The human brain is designed to conserve energy, which is why it tends to repeat the same neural pathways. Thinking differently, feeling differently, acting differently requires new connections, and that only happens when you consciously confront the beliefs that hold you back. And here's the key point. It isn't enough to know that you're programmed. You need to uninstall the old and reprogram the new. And the first step is awareness. Observe your thoughts as if watching a movie. When you say, "I can't do it," "This is hard," "Nothing ever works for me," ask yourself, whose voice is that? Is it truly yours? Or is it an old recording you've accepted as truth? The good news is that you can remember. Remember your strength, your abundance, your connection with all. But to do so, you must silence the noise of the lies you were told and that you unknowingly reinforce every day. That's why the practice of conscious repetition, powerful affirmations, and visualization is so effective. When you repeat a new truth with emotion and consistency, you interrupt the automatic cycle of mental programming. And gradually, you begin to access who you truly are. You are not the fear you feel, nor the scarcity you live in, nor the failure you believe you carry, all that was installed. But your essence, that was never erased. It was only hidden. And now is the time to remember. Remembering who you are doesn't happen solely through reflection. It happens through direct experience. For that, we need practices that create new neural connections, new emotions, and new vibrational states. Your natural state is one of abundance, but it lies hidden beneath layers of fear, conditioning, and haste. To access it, you need to silence the world's noise and tune in to the field of remembrance. The first practice is simple yet profound: conscious breathing. Sit in silence for a few minutes. Close your eyes. Inhale deeply through your nose, as if drawing in golden light. Hold for a few seconds, and as you slowly exhale through your mouth, imagine releasing every belief in scarcity, every sense of haste, every burden. Repeat this cycle for at least 5 minutes. During your breathing, bring to mind this affirmation: I reconnect with who I am. Abundance already lives within me. Don't say it as a wish. Say it as if it were an ancient memory, a code you are reactivating. The second practice is a guided visualization of your abundant self. Imagine yourself living the life you desire, not as a distant dream, but as an already established reality. Notice the details: where you are, what you're wearing, how you walk, how you speak, how you smile. Feel the comfort of your home, the taste of your food, the lightness of your decisions. And most importantly, feel the emotion of that life as if it were real. Your subconscious doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. If you feel it as truth, it will accept it and begin to reorganize your reality around it. The third practice is conscious repetition with emotional presence. Choose a short yet powerful affirmation. It could be, everything I desire already exists and is coming to me now. I am abundance in human form. Remembering is my greatest power. Repeat this phrase 6 times with conviction, as Jacobo Grinberg taught, with focus, breath, and emotion. Science has shown that repetition in altered states of consciousness, such as right after waking up or before sleeping, has the power to deeply reprogram the mind. The fourth practice is the use of conscious writing. Take a notebook and write phrases that reaffirm your essence. For example, today I choose to remember. My reality responds to my vibration. I am who I always was, and now I reconnect with myself. Writing activates different areas of the brain and further reinforces the vibration of what you are affirming. Finally, turn this into a daily ritual, not as an obligation, but as a sacred meeting with yourself. 3 minutes of breathing, 3 of visualization, 3 of affirmation, and 3 of writing. 12 minutes a day that can completely change your life. Remembering doesn't come through effort. It comes through consistency, presence, and emotion. And these practices are the key to unlocking that door. There is a frequency where everything flows. Where money comes easily, opportunities appear at the right time, the right people cross your path, and peace becomes your natural state. That frequency isn't created, it's accessed, because it already exists, and it's called the frequency of remembrance. When you enter that state, you aren't trying to change the world. You're changing your vibration, and the world responds. There is no more struggle, pressure, anxiety, or rush. There is a powerful serenity, because you know you are guided, you know you are prosperous, you know you are on the right path. That certainty doesn't come from logic, but from reconnecting with your true identity. To align body, mind, and spirit with this frequency, you must first honor the body. It is the vehicle of remembrance. Nutrition, sleep, breathing, and movement are sacred. When you treat your body as a temple, your vibration rises. The body isn't a spiritual obstacle, it's the bridge. Conscious walks, sunlight baths, silent meditation. All of these ground you in the present, where remembrance lives. The mind, in turn, needs to be cleansed and re-educated. You are not obliged to believe every thought that arises. They are old programs. Observe them like clouds passing in the sky. When the thought, "This is hard," comes up, internally respond, "This is just programming. I choose to remember." This simple attitude breaks the automatic cycle and installs a new perception. The mind isn't your enemy. It only needs new instructions. The spirit, finally, is the most direct channel to the source, and it speaks through intuition, emotion, and silence. To hear it, you need to reduce the noise. That means fewer distractions and more presence. Moments of solitude, connection with nature, prayer, contemplation. The frequency of remembrance reveals itself when the spirit finds room to speak. And it always whispers the same truth. You already are. Just remember. Everything begins with the decision to live as one who already has, as one who already is. Walk tall, speak clearly, breathe deeply, smile without reason, give thanks before receiving. These aren't pretenses. They are vibrational behaviors that communicate to the universe. I am in the frequency, and the universe can only give you what you have already become. Grinberg taught us that reality is an illusion shaped by perception. When you change your perception from seeking to remembering, the entire structure of your reality reorganizes. What once seemed impossible becomes normal. What was scarce multiplies. What was blocked flows. You don't need to be anything more. You only need to be who you always were, and that state you activate when you choose to remember. Now that you know the truth, that everything you desire already exists within you, waiting only to be remembered, the next step is simple yet profound. Live as one who already knows. It isn't enough to just watch, reflect, or be moved. You must act as someone who remembers. Apply the practices you've learned here. Choose an affirmation, breathe consciously, visualize with emotion, write with intention. Make it a sacred ritual, not to manifest, but to reconnect. Every breath, every word, every choice is a reminder of who you truly are. And remember, the universe does not respond to effort. It responds to frequency. And now you hold the key to aligning your vibration with all that is rightfully yours. If this message touched you, subscribe to the channel and activate the notification bell to keep receiving content that awakens, uplifts, and transforms. And leave in the comments the phrase that opens portals. I remember who I am. Share this remembrance with those you love, because the more people awaken, the more the world transforms. You are not lost. You had merely forgotten. Now, you remember.